I, Ethan Brooks, just got back to my place in Willow Creek, Georgia, after a week of hunting in the mountains, looking forward to soaking in the peace of my little farm where I raise pigs and butcher them for meat sales. But as I stepped into the yard, I saw my rainwater tank, the one I sweated to build for watering plants and feeding livestock, in a sorry state. The nozzle was crooked, the pressure weak like it was on its last legs, and a few dried mud streaks clung around it like crime scene evidence. Worse yet, I found out Nancy from the HOA, the one who once sent me a letter griping about my pigpen's smell, had been using water from my tank to wash her shiny white Lexus. No asking, no shame. So I did what any sane guy would do. I swore to turn my precious tank into a trap for Nancy, with pig blood straight from my slaughter shed.
You should have seen it.
No, this isn't a movie. This is real life when a smug Nancy plays water thief in the wrong neighborhood. Freeze frame, yep, that's me. The guy with a private tank Nancy tapped into to wash her car and water her garden illegally.
What did I do?
I planned to dump pig blood in there, and oh man, that was just the start. How did I go from a quiet backyard to a neighborhood Cold War, fueled by pig blood traps and shady plumbing ethics? Let's rewind a few hours. I'd just come back from 7 days with no cell signal, hunting in the wild, no people, no Nancy, paradise. But the moment I stepped into my yard, something was off. There were mud streaks on the path, a piece of plastic pipe stuck near the tank, and the water level lower than usual. I'm no detective, but when you build a tank to survive a divorce and find someone else using it for free, your brain connects the dots real fast. I stood there staring at the dried mud streaks and the crooked nozzle, anger flaring up like a slaughterhouse on a hot day. I couldn't let this slide, not with Nancy Wheeler, the self-proclaimed queen of the Willow Creek HOA, who thought she had the right to use my water tank like her personal car wash station. So I took a deep breath, trying not to picture myself marching across the street with a butchering knife, and headed straight to her house. The pristine white house with its award-winning rose-fenced yard looked like a magazine cover, but I knew the real person behind that door. I knocked hard, the kind of knock you use when you want someone to know you're not messing around. Nancy opened the door, wearing a garish floral robe, holding a glass of lemonade like she'd just stepped out of a commercial. "Ethan, welcome back," she said, her smile so fake I wanted to chuck a bucket of pig blood at her right then.
How was the hunting trip?
Before I could answer, she went on, "By the way, hope you don't mind, I borrowed some water from your tank to wash my car. It's just sitting there unused otherwise." I blinked, feeling like my jaw was about to drop onto her manicured lawn.
I mind,
I said, voice calm but my left eye twitching like it might explode.
That's private property, Nancy.
"You've got no right to touch it," she gave a little laugh, the kind people use when they think you're overreacting.
Oh, come on, Ethan. Don't be so uptight.
"You were gone all week. I was just helping the neighborhood look better. My Lexus is the symbol of Willow Creek, clean, classy HOA standard." I gritted my teeth. "My tank isn't here to polish your damn car, it's mine, not HOA's, not communal."
Nancy shrugged, sipping her lemonade.
"Water doesn't have a name on it, Ethan."
Besides, you should thank me.
"A dirty car, who could stand that around here?" I wanted to yell that I'd rather smell my pigpen than see her use my water, but I held back. "Listen," I said, voice dropping low, "if you touch my tank again, there'll be consequences." She tilted her head, her smile turning into a smug smirk. "Consequences? What are you gonna do, call the cops over a few gallons, or fine me for not being neighborly?" "Go ahead, Ethan, I'm the HOA head, I know the rules." I stood there, fists clenched, realizing this kind of confrontation was pointless. Nancy wasn't just stealing water, she thought she was entitled to it.
I turned away, muttering, "You'll see."
On the way back, I called Tom Carver, my high school buddy, the only guy in Willow Creek who gets me.
Tom, guess what I just saw?
I spilled it all, the mud, the camera, Nancy and her gleaming Lexus. Tom laughed over the phone, that raspy laugh of a guy fresh off a cigarette.
She's got guts, Ethan.
"But you know HOAs, if it's not nailed down, they think it's fair game." "What's your move?" I stopped in front of the pig pen, watching the pigs grunt, and an idea hit me.
I'll make her regret it, Tom. No lawsuits, no cops, I've got my own way.
What way? Tom asked, curiosity in his voice.
I grinned darkly.
You know what I've got in the slaughter shed, pig blood. She likes my water, I'll give her water she'll never forget.
Tom went quiet for a second, then burst out laughing.
You're nuts, Ethan, but I wanna see that. I hung up, staring at the tank now like a battlefield. Nancy had just declared war, and I'm not the type to back down. She wants to play. Fine, but this time, I'm playing by my rules, and those rules smell like blood. After the showdown with Nancy, I figured she'd back off, at least fake some remorse for a couple days. But nope, I underestimated the shamelessness of an HOA queen like Nancy Wheeler. The next morning, I went to check the tank, still fuming from last night. I noticed a fresh patch of dirt near the fence, like someone had been digging. She wouldn't dare, would she? I muttered, but the gut instinct of a guy who's survived a divorce told me to look closer. I knelt down, traced the dirt, and there it was. A small plastic pipe, finger-sized, running from my tank, burrowed underground, straight to Nancy's yard. I dug up a section, sure enough, a sloppy but functional hookup siphoning water to her side. I stood up, hands trembling with rage. She wasn't just freeloading my water to wash that damn Lexus, she'd installed a secret pipeline, turning my tank into her personal supply station. I grabbed my phone, pulled up last night's camera footage. Sure enough, 2 a.m., while Willow Creek slept, Nancy showed up in floral pajamas, a baseball cap, holding a shovel and a coil of plastic pipe. She dug, hooked it up, glancing around like a spy in a cheap flick. I fast-forwarded. This morning, she turned on the tap, not just washing her car but watering her prize rose garden, the one that won best yard in the neighborhood. She bragged about everywhere. I clenched my jaw. Not just stealing, you built a whole system, huh? But it gets worse. I kept watching the footage, and my eyes nearly popped out when I saw her selling water to neighbors. Linda from number 14, the one who once griped my pig pen ruined the vibe, walked over with a plastic bucket, handed Nancy $5, then scooped water from her pipe. Clean water, cheaper than the utility, I heard Nancy say through the camera audio, voice smug as hell. I shut off the phone, feeling like I'd been slapped with that bucket. She wasn't just taking my water, she'd turned it into a side hustle, profiting off my sweat while I was out hunting to clear my head. I called Tom right away. You won't believe this, I said, voice shaking with fury. Nancy rigged a pipe from my tank to her place. Car wash, garden, and selling it to neighbors, $5 a bucket. Tom went quiet for a beat, then cracked up. She's running a water gas station. That's insane, Ethan. What now? I stepped out to the pig pen, watching the pigs grunt, mind racing. I warned her, but she didn't listen. Now I've gotta go big. Tom stopped laughing. How big? I smirked. Pig blood big, but first I need her cockier. I decided not to touch the pipe yet, let her think she got away with it. I wanted Nancy comfy, smug as ever, so the next hit would sting hard. I went back to the footage, watching her water those roses, my tank's water spraying perfect arcs over the red blooms. You like my water that much? I muttered, fine, I'll give you water you'll never forget. I texted Tom, come over tonight, bring beer. I need you to plan this. He texted back, beer and pig blood, I'm liking this night already. I sat on the porch, staring at the tank now like my personal war zone. Nancy wasn't just invading my property, she was spitting on the independence I'd built from the ashes of my divorce. She thought she was Willow Creek's queen, but I'm no subject of hers. I'm the pig farmer, and I've got my own way of dealing with thieves. Pig blood's just the start, I'd make her pay for every drop she took. Tom's right, it's gotta be crazy. And tonight, the plan kicks off. I sat on the porch, staring at the tank now like the victim of a bold heist, my head still spinning from Nancy's secret pipe. Tom wasn't here yet, but I couldn't wait. I needed to think, to figure out why this pissed me off so bad. I closed my eyes, and memories hit like the smell of pig blood on slaughter day. That tank wasn't just cement and pipes, it's what I built with my dad, the summer before he passed. I could see him there, shirt soaked in sweat, holding a bucket of mortar, grinning as he said, "Ethan, self-sufficiency is freedom, no one's got the right to take what you make." We dug, piped, poured, every drop of sweat a reminder I didn't need anyone, not the city, not an HOA. The divorce took my old house, my old friends, but this tank was mine, a symbol of survival, of picking myself up from the wreckage. Nancy wasn't just stealing water, she was crapping on the last thing keeping me sane. I opened my eyes, staring at the pig pen, where the pigs grunted, and it hit me clearer than ever, she had to pay. Not for a few gallons, but because she thought I was some chump she could use. I'm not some Hollywood Jake, I'm Ethan Brooks, Willow Creek's pig farmer, and I wasn't letting this go. I stood up, walked into the pen, the familiar smell of dirt and manure waking me up. I could sue her, call the cops, drag out private property laws, but that'd take time, money, and Nancy would strut around with that fake smile while lawyers bickered. Nah, I wanted her to feel it, right now, my way. Tom texted back, "On my way, cold beer ready." I smirked, "Good, 'cause I need you tonight more than ever." I eyed the blood bucket from the last slaughter still in the corner, dark red, pungent, perfect. "You like my water, Nancy," I muttered. "I'll give you water you'll never wash off." The decision came fast as a knife through a pig's throat. I wouldn't touch her pipe yet, let her think she's winning. But I'd turn that tank into a trap, and pig blood was my weapon. This wasn't just revenge, it was a statement. I'm not prey in her HOA game, I'm the hunter, and she just stepped into my territory. Tom pulled up, parking his truck out front, stepping out with a six-pack of cold ones. "Your face says drama," he said, handing me a can. I popped it open, took a swig and laid it all out, the pipe, the footage, the $5 a bucket scam. Tom leaned against his truck, chuckling hard. "She's the final boss of petty thieves. Pig blood, huh? You serious?" I nodded, eyes gleaming. "Serious as when I butchered that fat hog last week. But I need your help, planning, keeping it quiet. She won't see it coming till it's too late." Tom raised his can, clinking it against mine. "Here's to you, Willow Creek's craziest butcher, I'm in." I grinned, first time all day, knowing from here on, Nancy wasn't just facing me, she was facing the nightmare I was about to unleash. Tom sat on my porch, second beer in hand, eyes lighting up as I told him about the pig blood plan. "But you can't dump blood right off," he said, voice raspy from laughing. "She'll call the cops faster than you can bleed a pig. Gotta go slow, warn her first, let her get cocky, then hit hard." I sipped my beer, nodding. He was right. Nancy's the type to sue me for public endangerment if I went big too soon. I needed her to ease into it, think she's still in charge, before pig blood turned her Lexus into a horror show. "So I start small," I said. "Phase 1 stench, give her a little perfumes from my pig pen." I got up, led Tom to the pen. The smell of manure and damp earth hit hard, home to me but a nightmare for Nancy. I pointed at an old plastic bucket under the overhang, pig piss from the last slaughter, sharp enough to sting my eyes when I stirred it. "This," I smirked, "is her first hello." Tom laughed loud. "You're evil, Ethan, but how do you sneak it into the tank without her suspecting?" I pointed at the pipe Nancy rigged, still there, waiting like an invitation. "I'll dilute it, dump it in the tank before she washes her car this weekend." Cameras got it all. Tom slapped my shoulder. "I'm liking your brain already." That night, I mixed the pig piss with rainwater from a spare barrel, light enough to hide at first, but rank enough to make Nancy wince. Under the moonlight, I crept to the tank, popped the lid, poured it in. The stench rose like a whisper from hell, but I knew it'd blend, biding its time. I sealed it up, checked the camera, perfect angle, aimed right at Nancy's yard. "You want my water?" I muttered. "Here's your appetizer." I went home, slept better than I had all week, dreaming of her screams. Saturday morning, I woke early, brewed coffee, sat at the camera screen like it was movie night. Nancy always washed her car weekends, 9 a.m., like clockwork. Right on cue, she stepped out, floral robe on, dragging her pipe from her yard. I sipped coffee, heart pounding. She turned on the tap, water sprayed out, clear as usual. I frowned, too diluted, but then she hosed the Lexus, and I saw her nose wrinkle. She paused, sniffed, kept spraying, her face scrunching like she'd smelled a corpse. I laughed hard, nearly spilling coffee. The stink had sunk in, not raw piss strong, but enough to bug her. Nancy shook her head, muttering something, probably thinking the tank went bad naturally. She kept washing, spraying harder like she could drown the smell, but I knew she felt it. My tank water now carried pigpen flavor sticking to her Lexus like an invisible warning. She finished, wiped her hands on her robe, face still sour, then hauled the pipe back. I rewound the footage, zoomed in on her sniffing her hands, wincing again. "There, Nancy," I said to the screen, "first gift from me." "Like it," I called Tom, "spilled it all." "Did she scream?" "Not yet," I said, but her face looked like she bit something rotten. Phase 1's a win, she's still using it, thinks it's just a little off. Tom grunted approval. "Good, let her relax now, then hit harder." "Pig blood still waiting, right?" I glanced at the blood bucket in the pen corner, dark red and ready. "Yeah, but I wanna play more first." "Phase 2, I'll drive her nuts before the blood drops." I sat back on the porch, sipping coffee, feeling like a hunter setting traps. Nancy had no clue, still smug with her pipe and shiny Lexus, but I knew, this was just the start. The stench was a warning she ignored. Fine, the cockier she got, the worse the next blow would hit. I smirked, thinking of the blood waiting in the dark. "Keep waiting, Nancy, I'm not done yet." After the pig perfume stunt in phase 1, I sat on the porch, sipping coffee, feeling like a hunter who'd just fired a warning shot. Nancy wrinkled her nose at the smell, but kept using the water, smug as a cat that's nabbed a mouse. "She's got no idea," I muttered, eyeing the tank, now my secret weapon. "Tom, I need to go slow, let her get comfy, then drop the hammer." Phase 1 was the appetizer. Phase 2 would be the main course, before pig blood turned her Lexus into a gore painting. I smirked, plotting the next move, wrecking Nancy's car wash setup. I knew Nancy relied on that fancy pressure washer she bragged about all over Willow Creek, pricey gear, the kind suburbanites like her used to keep a Lexus white as a showroom floor. If I screwed up the water flow from my tank, that machine would be toast. I got up, checked the tank, eyed her pipe, still there, daring me. The idea hit fast, as spotting the fattest pig in the pen, I'd rig a secret valve, tweak the pressure so it sprayed wild, overloading her washer. No pig blood yet, just a pig farmer's ingenuity would do. I drove to the hardware store in town, grabbed a small valve, cheap but chaos ready. That night, I snuck to the tank with a flashlight and wrench. I dug around the pipe, slipped the valve into the line, set it to spray strong then weak, enough to freak out Nancy's pressure washer without leaving tracks. I checked the camera, angle still perfect, primed to catch the show. "Go ahead and spray, Nancy," I whispered, covering the dirt, "I'm waiting to see your face." Sunday morning, I was up early, coffee brewing, parked at the screen like a director for the big scene. Nancy was punctual as ever, 9 a.m., she hauled out the pressure washer, hooked up my tank's pipe, strutting like royalty. I sipped coffee, heart thumping. She fired it up, water shot out, normal at first, then blasted like a storm, startling her. "What the hell?" I heard her yell through the camera audio. It sprayed everywhere over the Lexus, her windows then dribbled to drops. The machine screeched, shaking like it'd blow. I laughed hard, nearly choking on coffee. Nancy killed the power, face red, checked the hose, shook it like it'd fix itself. She tried again, this time water blasted back in her face, soaking her floral robe. I doubled over laughing, rewound the footage, zoomed on her wiping her face, hair a mess like a dog licked it. She smacked the machine, yelled about cheap junk, then called a repair guy. I kept watching. The tech showed up, inspected it, shook his head. Pressure's off, I heard him say. Overloaded, needs a new one. Nancy stood there, hands on hips, face like she'd chewed pig crap. I smirked. That's pricey, Nancy. Welcome to phase 2. I called Tom, laid it out. Her pressure washer's dead, I said, still grinning. Tom cackled over the phone. You're a genius, Ethan. She suspect you? Not yet, I said. She thinks it's a fluke, but I know she won't quit. That pipe's still there, and she's stubborn as an old hog. Tom grunted. Nice. Let her buy a new one, get cocky again, then drop the blood. I want to see that car red. I eyed the blood bucket in the pen, feeling like a hunter lining up the kill shot. Don't worry, I said. Phase 3's the finale. Nancy bought a new pressure washer on Tuesday. I saw it through the window when she bragged to Linda at number 14, strutting like she'd just won some prize. Phase 2 was a smashing success. She shelled out cash, got pissed, but still didn't suspect me. That pipe was still there, sucking water from my tank like a parasite, and she was more confident than ever. Perfect, I muttered, sitting on the porch with a beer. Tom left behind. She thought she'd dodged trouble, but she didn't know phase 3 was waiting. No stench, no pressure mess, just pig blood, dark red and gruesome, ready to turn her Lexus into a horror movie crime scene. This was the big decision, and I'd make it epic. I got up, stepped into the pig pen, where the smell of dirt and manure mixed like a revenge symphony. The pigs grunted, clueless that one of them was about to become my unwilling ally. I'd slaughtered hundreds of times, sharp knife, steady hand, blood flowing in streams, but this was different. This time, the blood wasn't just for meat, it was a weapon. I glanced at the old blood bucket in the corner, from last week's pig, still red, but clotted, not fresh enough. Need new stock, I said to myself, a thrill mixing with a flicker of nerves. If I did this, there was no turning back, but Nancy had pushed me this far, and I'm not the type to quit halfway. I picked the fattest pig, around 200 pounds, gray fur, innocent eyes. Sorry, buddy, I muttered, grabbing the slaughter knife. I tied it to the pen's corner, checked the ropes, quick, clean, painless, like Dad taught me. The blade sliced its throat, blood sprayed out, bright red, the metallic stench, hitting my nose hard. I set a big plastic bucket underneath, letting it fill, heavy hot drops, nearly 2 gallons when done. I wiped my hands on my apron, staring at the glossy blood under the pen's light, feeling like I'd just crafted a masterpiece. This is for you, Nancy, I said, smirking. But I didn't stop, kept butchering, took the meat to sell, kept up the normal front. No one in Willow Creek needed to know what I was up to tonight. Tom showed up while I was rinsing the knife, bringing beer as promised. He stepped into the pen, sniffed the blood, raised an eyebrow. You're serious? Real pig blood? I pointed at the bucket, dark red like pricey wine. Real as Nancy's Lexus won't be white much longer. Tom laughed loud, cracked open a beer, handed me one. What's the plan? I sipped, explained. I'll dump it in the tank tonight, before she washes her car tomorrow. Cameras set. I want every second of her screaming on tape. Tom nodded. But what if she calls the cops? Pig blood's no joke. I shrugged. My tank, private property. She stole the water. I've got footage to prove it. Who's gonna arrest me? We sat on the porch, moonlight hitting the tank like a stage for the big show. Tom helped me map it out. Wait till midnight, when Willow Creek's dead asleep, then sneak the blood into the tank. You gonna dilute it? Tom asked. I shook my head. Nope, I want it thick red as hell, unmistakable. She won't just smell it, she'll see it splash all over her car. Tom clapped, chuckling hard. You're nuts, Ethan. But I want to be here to see her freak. I nodded. Fine, but you stay quiet. I don't want her catching on too soon. Midnight, me and Tom hauled the blood bucket to the tank, stepping light like hunters stalking prey. I popped the lid. The fresh blood stench hit hard, stronger than in the pen. Tom held the flashlight. I poured slow. Blood flowed into the water, spreading like red ink in the clear tank. I stirred it lightly with a stick, making sure it mixed even. Looks tasty yet, I whispered. Tom snickered, like wine for Nancy. I sealed the lid, checked the camera, angle still dead on, ready to catch the Lexus going from white to red. We headed back, my heart pounding, not from fear, but excitement. I'd made the big call, and there was no going back. I lay in bed, picturing Nancy turning on the tap tomorrow, blood gushing out, screams echoing through Willow Creek. "You want my water?" I muttered, closing my eyes. "I'll give you a whole tank of blood." Phase 3 was locked and loaded, and this time, Nancy wouldn't just wince or buy a new machine, she'd remember it forever. I woke before dawn, heart thumping like a war drum, not from worry, but pure thrill. Today was the big day, Phase 3, the day pig blood turned Nancy's shiny white Lexus into a horror flick set. I brewed coffee, dragged a chair to the porch, set the camera screen in front of me, like a director waiting for the money shot. Tom crashed here last night, snoring away on the sofa, but I didn't wake him. I wanted this moment solo before all Willow Creek blew up. I checked last night's footage, the dark red blood bucket pouring into the tank, spreading like deadly ink. Perfect, I muttered, sipping coffee. Nancy always washed her car Sunday mornings, 9 a.m., like clockwork, and I knew she wouldn't skip today, especially with that new pressure washer. Right at 8:58, I spotted her on the camera, Nancy stepping into her yard, floral robe on, hair tied high, dragging out the new pressure washer with the smugness of someone who'd spent cash to prove they're untouchable. She hooked up the pipe from my tank, checked the nozzle, then fired it up. I smirked, gripping my coffee mug tight. Water shot out, clear at first, and I worried the blood had settled, but then it came a vivid red stream, dark as top-shelf wine, blasting straight onto the Lexus. Nancy flinched, but before she could react, the blood sprayed harder, staining the hood a gory red, splashing the windshield, dripping onto the driveway like horror rain. She screamed, a high-pitched wail ringing through the neighborhood, making me nearly spill my coffee from laughing. "What the hell is this?" she yelled, shutting off the machine, but blood kept flowing through the pipe, hitting her robe, her face. She flailed, trying to block it, but that just sent blood farther onto the fence, the prize rosebed, turning it into a wet red mess. I clutched my gut laughing, rewound the footage, zoomed in on her slipping on the bloody driveway, landing with a pathetic thud. She wiped her face, hands coated red, staring at the Lexus now looking like a pig had torn into it, screaming again. "Who did this?" I whispered to the screen. "Me, Nancy. Welcome to my tank." Tom woke up from the noise, stumbling out, eyes half shut. "What's that racket?" He saw the screen, then burst out laughing. "Holy crap, Ethan, you did it. That car, it's a zombie flick." I nodded, still grinning. "Not done yet, keep watching." Neighbors started gathering. Linda from 14 ran out, hand over her mouth at the blood from Nancy's pipe. The Millers from 16 appeared, their kids shrieking as blood from the spray hit their yard, soaking the boys' white sneakers. "Blood, it's real blood," he yelled, running circles like he'd seen a ghost. Mr. Miller, face red, spun on Nancy. "What the hell did you do with the water, Nancy?" "My kid's covered in blood." Nancy stood up, drenched, face pale under red streaks, trying to explain. "It's not me, it's Ethan's tank, he poisoned it." I laughed hard, figuring it was time to show up. I stepped into the yard, beer in hand, calm as can be. "Poisoned," I said, voice dripping sarcasm. "This is my tank, private property. I want pig blood in it, so what? You took the water yourself, you deal with it." Nancy pointed at me, shaking. "You did this on purpose, it's dangerous, I'll sue you." I shrugged. "Go ahead, I've got footage of you stealing water all week. Who broke the law first?" Neighbors buzzed. Linda backed off, hand over her nose from the blood stench. Mr. Miller roared, "She sold us that water. $5 a bucket, now what?" "Pig blood." Nancy stammered. I didn't know, but no one listened. The crowd grew, phones up recording, laughs mixing with shouts. I stood there, sipping beer watching Nancy scramble to drag the pipe back, blood still dripping from the nozzle. She bolted inside, slamming the door, but I knew it wasn't over. Tom slapped my shoulder. You won, Ethan. Her face like a pig chased her. I replayed the footage, zooming on blood hitting the Lexus, the roses. Nancy. You want my water, I said to the screen. I gave you a tankful, but then I saw Mr. Miller calling someone cops or HOA, probably. I smirked. Call 'em. I'm ready. Neighbors kept milling, some pointing my way, but I didn't care. Nancy was done. Her shiny car, prize garden, reputation, all red as the pig blood I'd prepped. This was the peak, and I was the survivor. After the pig blood spray down, I stood in my yard, beer in hand, watching the neighbors buzz like a kicked hive. Nancy had bolted inside, slamming the door, but I knew she wasn't the type to lose and stay quiet. Tom sat on the porch, cackling, filming the footage on his phone to save the memory. I sipped my beer, feeling like a hunter who'd nailed the biggest catch, but then Nancy's door flew open. She stormed out, no bloody floral robe, now in a white shirt and jeans, wet hair a mess, face red with fury. She's back, Tom whispered. I smirked. Good, I've been waiting for this. Nancy charged across the street, right at me, finger jabbing my face like she'd poke through it. Ethan Brooks, you lunatic, you poisoned that tank, you tried to kill me. I stayed cool, sipped my beer, watching her tremble. Poisoned, I put pig blood in my tank, private property. You took the water yourself, you brought it on. Wanna sue? Go ahead. I've got footage of you stealing all week. She roared. You did it on purpose. This is dangerous. I'll call the cops, sue you, get you kicked out of Willow Creek. I chuckled. Call 'em, but check the law first. My tank, I can put what I want in it. You're the trespasser. The crowd went quiet, some nodding, some stepping back. Mr. Miller, still mad about his kid's bloody mess, shouted she sold us that water. She's gotta own this, Nancy. She spun around, stammering. I didn't know it was blood. It's him. He trapped me. I shrugged. You rigged the pipe. You sold the water. Don't pin it on me. Nancy stood there, face flipping from red to white to red again, like a broken traffic light. She turned back to me, voice dropping, venomous. You think you won. I'll make you regret this. I'm HOA head. I've got power, lawyers, this whole neighborhood. I smirked. Try it, Nancy. But what now? Your Lexus is red as hell. She stormed back home, but I knew it wasn't over. Tom slapped my shoulder. She means it. You ready? I nodded. I've got footage, logic. She's got nothing. But I underestimated Nancy's counterattack speed. That afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I picked up. A deep voice came through. Mr. Brooks, I'm Mrs. Wheeler's lawyer. We're preparing a suit for public endangerment and property damage. We suggest you stop any provocation. I laughed loud. Sue away. Tell her to check my footage. She stole first. I just defended my property. He went silent, then hung up. That night, Nancy struck again. The Willow Creek Facebook group blew up with her post. Warning, Ethan Brooks poisoned his tank with pig blood, endangering the neighborhood. I'm the victim. My car's ruined. My garden's gone. I demand an emergency HOA meeting to expel this maniac. I read it, chuckling hard. Tom sat beside me, scrolling comments. Look, Linda says she deserved it for selling dirty water, but some back her, want the meeting. I shrugged. Let 'em meet. I'm ready. Next day Nancy banged on my door, clipboard in hand, face stone cold. Last chance, she said. Delete the footage, pay for my car and garden, apologize publicly, or I'll make you the neighborhood's enemy. I leaned on the doorframe, smirking. You want war? Fine. I've got footage of you rigging pipes, selling water. The whole street'll see you're the thief before I'm the psycho. Get lost, Nancy. She glared, eyes blazing, then turned away, muttering. You'll regret this. I shut the door, called Tom. She's hitting hard, I said. Lawyer, Facebook, now an HOA meeting. What's your take? Tom laughed over the phone. She's panicking, Ethan. But you gotta go bigger. Show the footage. Let the neighborhood see the truth. I nodded, opened my laptop, watched the blood splash the Lexus. Nancy again. All right, if she wants a meeting, I'll be there with proof. She's done, just doesn't know it. Tom agreed. I'll be there, bringing beer. This'll be fun. Nancy wasn't kidding about the emergency HOA meeting. Wednesday, the official notice hit the Willow Creek Facebook group, meeting at the community house, 7 p.m., to discuss Ethan Brooks' dangerous behavior. I read it, chuckling hard, picturing her typing it with hands, still shaky from pig blood. Tom texted me, "You going?" "I'm bringing beer." "Damn right," I texted back. "But I'm not just going, I'm bringing footage, to show the whole neighborhood who Nancy really is." I opened my laptop, picked the best clips. Nancy rigging the pipe, selling water, then screaming as blood drenched her Lexus. "You wanna play big?" I muttered. "I'll play bigger." At 7 p.m., I walked into the Willow Creek community house, USB in hand, Tom beside me with a six-pack of cold ones. The room was packed, over 30 people, from Linda to the Millers crammed around a long table. Nancy stood at the head, in a blue blazer, hair tied tight, glaring at me like she'd burn me alive. Next to her was Helen Ortiz, a longtime HOA member I'd seen stand quiet when Nancy flaunted her Lexus. She tapped her pen on the table, voice icy. "We're here because Ethan Brooks poisoned his tank with pig blood, damaging me and threatening the neighborhood. I propose we expel him." The crowd murmured, some nodded, but I caught Mr. Miller frowning. Nancy held up printed photos, her Lexus soaked red, roses dripping wet. "Here's proof. He deliberately trashed my property, endangered us all." I stood smirking. "You done?" "My turn." I plugged the USB into the projector, fired up the footage. The screen lit up, Nancy sneaking around, digging, hooking a pipe to my tank. The crowd went silent. I fast-forwarded. "She sold water to Linda, $5 a bucket." Murmurs grew louder. "That's my tank, private property," I said. "She stole water all week, sold it to you folks. I put pig blood in there, legal, it's mine. She brought it on herself." Nancy slammed the table. "Lies, he trapped me." But Helen raised a hand, voice steady. "Hold on, Nancy. I recall you making us pay that neighborhood upkeep fund, $20 a house, no receipts. Where's the money?" The crowd turned on Nancy, eyes suspicious. Linda stood. "Yeah, I gave her $5 for water. Now I know it was Ethan's, bloody too." Mr. Miller growled, "My kid got blood on him because of her. She said it was clean." Nancy stammered, I didn't know it was blood. It's him. He's crazy." I laughed loud. "You rigged the pipe, you sold it. Don't blame me." "Here." I played the blood spray clip, Nancy screaming, tumbling over. The crowd cracked up, some clapped. Tom whispered, "You've won." But Helen wasn't done. She eyed Nancy, voice firm. "You said Ethan's uncooperative, but you overstepped. I checked the HOA bylaws, his place is outside our bounds, you've got no authority over him." Nancy paled. "Helen, you're siding with him." Helen shrugged. "I'm siding with facts. You've abused power too long." The room erupted. Some defended Nancy, but most turned. Mr. Miller yelled, "She owes me compensation." Linda added, "And an apology." I stood there, arms crossed, watching Nancy flounder. She tried shouting over the noise, "I'm the HOA head, you can't do this." But Helen raised her hand again. I moved to vote, suspend Nancy temporarily, investigate her funds and actions. The crowd roared agreed. Nancy looked around, eyes blazing, then screamed, "You'll all regret this." She bolted out, leaving her clipboard and photos. Tom handed me a beer, grinning. "You just knocked her out." I sipped, nodded. Thanks to the footage and Helen, didn't expect her to flip. We left the meeting, crowd still buzzing. On the way home, I thought of Nancy. She'd lost, but that last look wasn't surrender. I smirked. "She'll come back, Tom. But I'm ready." Footage still in hand, and now I had most of the neighborhood, at least the majority. After the HOA meeting, I got home with Tom's beer, sat on the porch, feeling like I'd won a war without a butcher knife. My footage had knocked Nancy out. She'd fled the community house like a cat doused in water, leaving her clipboard and reputation in shreds. Tom slapped my shoulder before heading out. "You're a legend now, Ethan. But don't get cocky. She's not the type to lose easy." I smirked, sipped my beer. "Let her try. I've got footage, Helen, the whole neighborhood. She's out of moves." Next morning, the Willow Creek Facebook group blew up. Helen posted an official notice. Nancy Wheeler suspended from HOA head duties, pending investigation of funds and misconduct. Thanks to Ethan Brooks for evidence. Comments flooded in. Linda wrote, good riddance. She sold me dirty water for $5, Mr. Miller added, I want compensation for my kid. Someone posted a pic of the bloody Lexus, captioned when HOA picks the wrong pig farmer to mess with. I laughed hard, sipped coffee, replayed the footage of Nancy flopping in her bloody yard, best memory of the week. By noon, gossip spread fast. Nancy had to foot the bill herself. New pressure washer and Lexus, now a red rusted heap, no insurance covering it since it was self-inflicted. I heard Linda over the fence. She called a car wash, but they refused once they smelled the blood. She scrubbed it herself, cost her thousands. I smirked. Good, that's the price of stealing water. Her prize rose garden was toast too. Pig blood soaked the soil, rotted the roots, turning the once red blooms gray as a graveyard. She tried selling her house that week, slapped up a for sale ASAP sign, but who'd buy the pig blood house? The HOA met again, Helen stepping in to run things. They checked the funds. Nancy had pocketed over $500 from the neighborhood upkeep fund, for Lexus gear and garden stuff. Helen called me, Ethan, she's done. We could sue, but she's got nothing left to lose. What do you want? I laughed over the phone, let her live with it. I don't need cash, I just want her gone. Helen agreed, fair, but you're an accidental hero now. Some want you in the HOA. I shot that down fast. No thanks, I'd rather be the pig farmer. Not everyone was thrilled though. Some shunned me. The old lady at 20 whispered I was a maniac, passing my pig pen. One day, I found dirty butcher scrawled on my fence. I shrugged, hosed it off. Hate me all you want, I muttered, but no one's touching my tank again. Most of the neighborhood backed me. Mr. Miller shook my hand over the fence, said thanks for teaching her a lesson. Linda brought over a plate of cookies, smiling. I was wrong about your pig pen. Now I think it's cute. I grinned back, nibbled a cookie, feeling like I'd reclaimed Willow Creek. Nancy vanished from sight for days, but I caught her through the window, long sleeves, head down, quietly scrubbing the Lexus though the blood had dried brown. She didn't talk to anyone, no meetings, didn't even glance my way. Tom swung by with beer, sat on the porch. Look at her, he pointed. Like a ghost. You did it, Ethan. I nodded, sipped. Yeah, but I don't buy her giving up. She lost everything. HOA gig, car, garden, respect. People like that don't lose without biting back. I was right. Over the weekend, I saw her standing in front of the house, talking to some guy in a suit, probably a lawyer. She pointed at my place, waving her arms, her face full of rage. Tom smirked. She's got one last move, huh? I shrugged. Let her try. I've got footage. I've got Helen. I've got the whole neighborhood. She's lost everything. Now she's just a toothless dog barking. Still, I checked the cameras, making sure every angle was ready. Nancy might be weak, but I wasn't taking chances. Nancy lost it all. HOA president gig, shiny Lexus, award-winning rose garden, and the last shred of respect in Willow Creek. But I still saw her lurking near my place, chatting with that suited lawyer guy. I wasn't surprised. She's the type to bite back, even without teeth, and I wasn't about to give her an opening. Tom was right. I won, but people like Nancy don't lose without one final swing. I sat on the porch, sipping beer, staring at the water tank, now peaceful like a battlefield after the fight. She hasn't learned her lesson, I muttered. Fine, I'll finish it. A few days later I spotted the sign, an old plastic pipe, smaller than before, sneaking from my tank to Nancy's yard. She still hadn't given up, even if it was just to water a few pots instead of that Lexus, now a rusty brown heap. I checked the cameras. Last night's footage showed her, hoodie up, digging in the dirt at 3 a.m. Stubborn as an old hog, I chuckled, but I didn't dig up the pipe yet. I wanted her to get cocky, think she'd outsmarted me again, then hit her with the final blow. No pig blood, no lawyers, just something she'd never forget. I went to the pig pen, eyeing the fresh manure from this morning, pungent, wet, perfect. I remembered Dad saying, "Manure's a farmer's gold, Ethan." To me it was revenge gold. I called Tom. "I've got a final idea for Nancy. You in?" He showed up fast, beer in hand, grinning when he heard the plan. Pig shit, you're nastier than I thought. I shrugged. She likes my water, I'll give her some special water. We dug up an old pipe from the manure tank in the pen, stuff I use for fertilizing, and quietly hooked it to Nancy's line, swapping rainwater for pig stink perfume. That night, Tom and I waited, cameras ready. Early morning, Nancy stepped out, turned on the hose to water her last sad plants. Brown, murky sludge sprayed out, splashing the plants, the yard, the stench hitting like a manure bomb. She screamed, dropped the hose, ran in circles, hands over her nose. What the hell is this? I heard through the camera audio, laughing so hard, I nearly fell off my chair. Pig shit soaked into the soil, killing her last plants, turning her yard into a second pig pen. Tom clutched his stomach, howling. You just turned her place into a shit pile. Brilliant. Nancy bolted inside, didn't come back. That afternoon, the for sale sign in her yard was gone. Guess no one buy it after that smell. Linda told me, she called cleaners, but they said the whole yard need digging up thousands of bucks. She's gone, moved in with her mom. I smirked, stepped out to the tank, checked the cameras, no more pipes daring to show up. Final lesson, Nancy, I muttered. Don't mess with what's not yours. Tom swung by that night, beers raised in victory. You did it, he said, clinking cans with me. She's lost it all. Car, house, reputation. Now what? I sipped, gazing at the pig pen calm under the moonlight. Now I live on like before she showed up. My tank, my farm, no one's touching it again. He laughed. You're a Willow Creek legend now. But what if she comes back? I shrugged. I've got manure, blood, footage, whatever she wants, I'll double it. Nancy didn't return, at least not yet. She left quietly, abandoning the stinking house and memories of an HOA boss brought down. I sat on the porch, sipping beer, real peace settling back in. The tank stood there, no pipes, no thieves. Thanks, Dad, I whispered, recalling his words about freedom. Nancy learned her lesson, and I kept what's mine, with blood, shit, and a pig farmer's madness. Nancy moved out, leaving the reeking house and that rusty brown Lexus as her failed legacy, but the story didn't stop. Next morning, I sat on the porch, sipping coffee, checking the Willow Creek Facebook group, and holy hell, it blew up. Someone, probably Miller, posted a short clip from my camera footage, pig blood spraying the Lexus, Nancy screaming, tumbling in her blood-red yard. Caption was simple, when the HOA picks the wrong pig farmer. Comments flooded in fast as pigs running from a butcher's knife. Linda wrote, she deserved it, no more selling me dirty water. Another, Ethan's a hero, this is real property defense. I chuckled, sipped coffee, scrolled more. Someone snapped a pic of Nancy's yard post pig shit, posted it with, from award roses to shit pile, Nancy Wheeler, 2025. Then memes hit, someone edited Nancy screaming, added text, when you want free water but get a pig pen. Another, was the blood-red Lexus, captioned POV, you mess with Ethan's tank. I smirked, sent the link to Tom. He texted back fast, you're on YouTube, Ethan. Willow Creek Dramas posted the full footage, 500 views in an hour. I clicked, yep, my footage, brightened, with horror music, titled, HOA Karen vs. Pig Farmer. Blood and shit. The video spread fast. By noon 2,000 views, comments like, this guy's epic, don't touch people's stuff. And Nancy learned the priciest lesson. Not everyone cheered though. Some wrote, Ethan went too far, pig blood's disgusting, or both are nuts, but he's more dangerous. I shrugged, muttered, disgusting. She stole first. Tom called, laughing over the phone. You're famous, but the old ladies at 20 think you're a devil butcher. I laughed hard, let him talk, long as my tank's safe. Offline, the neighborhood buzzed too. Miller stopped by, shook my hand again. Thanks, you're like a superhero to my kid now. Linda brought more pie, grinning. Your pig pen's a justice symbol. Not everyone was happy. I caught cold stares passing 20, that old lady whispering to neighbors. I didn't care, most of Willow Creek had my back, and that's enough. One afternoon, I saw kids playing outside, pretending to be Ethan beating Nancy, waving sticks as blood hoses. I smiled, thinking, I'm a legend for real. The memeing didn't stop. By night, The YouTube video hit 10,000 views. Someone made a gif of Nancy falling, spreading on Twitter with #PigBloodRevenge. One guy posted my tank pic, added, "Don't touch, unless you want red." I sipped beer, rewatched my footage, every second of blood and shit a win. Tom texted, "Think Nancy's seen this?" I replied, "Hope so. Let her know the world's laughing at her." The community split, half saw me as a hero, half as a psycho, but I didn't mind. The tank stood untouched, my pig pen peaceful like no war ever happened. Nancy lost everything, I kept mine. I sat on the porch, sky darkening, thinking of Dad. He'd be proud. I didn't let anyone steal my freedom. Memes or hate, I didn't care. "Laugh all you want," I muttered. "Just don't touch my water." Nancy's been gone from Willow Creek a week, leaving the stinking house and a meme storm. Pig blood video at 50,000 views, Nancy's fall gif a Twitter sensation. I sat on the porch, sipping beer, tank calm under moonlight. Pigs grunted softly, no pipes, no thieves, just me and the freedom Dad talked about. Tom stopped by this morning, laughing. "You're king of the block, Ethan, no one's touching that tank now." I smirked, "Good. But I don't buy she's gone for good. Nancy's not the type to lose quietly." I was right. Next morning, I grabbed the mail, found a brown envelope stuffed in, no address, no name, just a folded paper inside. I opened it, bold typed words hitting me, "You think you won, but I'll burn your farm to ashes." I stood there, reading it 3 times, slow, a chill running down my spine. Burn was underlined, scratched hard, like someone pissed off meant it. Nancy, maybe. She lost it all: house, car, respect, and people like that don't leave without a bite. No proof, just a gut feeling from a guy who's seen her reg pipes at 3 a.m. I called Tom, read him the letter over the phone. He went quiet a sec, then said, "She's bluffing, Ethan. But watch out, I don't think she'd burn it, but who knows." I smirked, eyeing the pig pen through the window. "If she tries, I've got cameras, blood, shit, I'll give her double." Tom chuckled. "You're my favorite lunatic. Add motion lights though, just in case." I nodded, stashed the letter, checked the cameras, every angle live, ready for any lurker. That afternoon, I sat by the tank, sipping beer, farm quiet but my mind racing. Nancy could hire someone, that suit lawyer. Some nut from the anti-Ethan Facebook crowd, no clue, but I wasn't scared. I'd beaten her with blood and shit, kept what's mine. If she wants war again, I'm game. "Come on then," I muttered, gripping the can. "I ain't running." Peace returned, but it's temporary. I stood, eyed the pig pen, told myself to stay sharp, not 'cause I fear losing, but 'cause I know Nancy's type never runs out of moves. I smirked, picturing her somewhere, typing more threats, or hiring a guy with a gas can. "Wanna burn my farm?" I whispered to the wind. "Try it, but I'll give you my fire first." I raised my beer, toasted myself, Willow Creek's crazy pig farmer, holding freedom at all costs. This wind's mine, but if Nancy's back, I'll be ready, with cameras, blood buckets, and the last of my madness. The story reflects plenty about life in the US today, especially the tension in suburban communities where personal property and collective rules clash. Ethan, a lone guy in Willow Creek, stands for freedom and self-reliance, core American values, shown in his rainwater tank and pig farming. Nancy, HOA boss, embodies overreach and entitlement, common in small US community groups where some force rules on others without respecting lines. Her stealing Ethan's water and selling it to neighbors mirrors real issues, HOA opacity and power trips, not rare in modern American suburbs. Ethan's pig blood and manure revenge, extreme as hell, shows how personal grudges explode when pushed too far, tying into petty lawsuits or small-scale violence in US life today. His camera footage exposing Nancy highlights tech and evidence as key to defending rights against bullshit. The YouTube memes and videos blowing up afterward scream modern American culture, where neighbor spats to political scandals go viral fast. Takeaway: in a US that prizes personal freedom, guard your lines, but don't cross legal or moral ones. Ethan won with proof footage and community backup, but blood and shit alienated some. Advice: use smarts like cameras or talk over crazy payback, 'cause even if you're right, how you act shapes how society sees you. Stand firm like Ethan, but remember, in today's America, lasting wins come from reason and unity, not just rage or blood buckets. If you enjoyed watching Nancy learn her bloody lesson from my tank, don't forget to subscribe for more revenge rounds. Thanks for following this pig farmer, see you in the next video, and remember, don't mess with other people's stuff.